there's no ill feelings towards the dog that attacked.
Hell no. Like, hell you don't. I would have. I would have got my fucking revenge.
The chopper's still running, and don't you forget it. I hate to have to use it, but the phone keep having. Boys talking shit like they never heard of murder. Boys talking shit like they never heard of murder. The chopper's still ready, and don't you forget.
Oh! I have a big ass green screen right here. That's why you see like some green screen right here. Just so.
Number 15. Jennifer Karen. Accidents during whale watching is a rare occurrence, but due to the size of humpback whales,
There's a motherfucker. Well, first of all, everybody on that boat or whatever you call that thing is fucking up. You got the homie taking a picture of it, taking a photo. You got the homie with the white hat on, green shirt, talking about something like he thinking is this a good idea? Maybe I'm fucking up. I see homie right there, right, smiling and shit. I see somebody else taking, god damn, bro. Like, everybody is fucking up on that. Everybody. And it looks like everybody barefooted.
it can cause serious damage to vessels and people. In March 2015, Jennifer Karen from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, was on vacation in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, and was attending a whale watching tour. During the tour, a whale unexpectedly breached the waters and landed directly on the boat.
Damn.
Karen was tossed into the water.
Well,
She
damn.
and 2 other passengers suffered critical injuries, and other passengers quickly performed first aid on the 2, with Karen requiring CPR.
First aid, CPR my ass, bitch. I would have hauled ass to the to like the shore shit, like the what do you call that? It's called something. You know, where like the ocean ends and like the land begins, like that sand shit. It's called something. I just can't think of the word. I can't. I don't know. See, this is why I need like a Jimmy Neutron type mind, because he's like, you know, he knows everything. So it'd be nice if I knew everything. But yeah, I'd be so fast over there, it wouldn't even make sense. I'm just saying, yo, y'all busy over there helping one another. You got me messed up.
Captain quickly radioed the naval rescue team, and a boat was dispatched to retrieve those on board, and the injured were rushed to hospital for treatment. Unfortunately, Karen's injuries proved too severe, and she passed away at 35.
Damn.
According to the local emergency crews, this is the first incident involving a whale in the area resulting in injury, let alone fatality.
It's not gonna be the
An
last.
investigation was launched to determine whether or not the captain had broken restrictions by moving beyond the minimum distance all boats are required to be between vessels and whales. And it was concluded the captain had done everything possible to keep a safe distance, and there was no way he could have prevented the mishap from happening. Further details have been withheld out of respect for Karen and her family. One of the injured was released from hospital soon after, and the second was transferred back to the United States for further treatment, and has since made a full recovery. Number 14. Roy Horn. Las Vegas used to be full of posters and billboards advocating the famous Siegfried and Roy show run by magicians and entertainers Siegfried Fischbacher and Roy Horn, often stealing the spotlight from the men.
Nigga, I see fucking death in that tiger's eyes, or whatever that thing is. You got these 2 bitches talking about something. The blonde one look like he putting on a face. They both look like they putting on fakes. They both look scared as shit. But because, you know, they doing it in front of a camera, they got put on their hand, right? They got put on this face. But deep down inside, they like, oh my God, 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 and homie in the middle talking about some. You got me fucked up.
Was their famous white tigers, who would perform tricks on stage for the bedazzled crowd. On October 3rd, 2003, Horn fell on stage, and one of the tigers, Manticore, grasped Horn's head in his jaws.
Oh!
Crew rushed in and separated Horn and Manticore, then took Horn to the hospital, where he was taken into intensive care.
I don't feel nothing for him. I don't feel he should have ate that motherfucker. I don't feel I hate the zoo because animals are just they're like trapped. They're enslaved. I don't know if that's the right term. You know, they're not in their natural habitat, even though you know, humans build natural habitats to make it feel like they're at home, but they're not at home. And some of them know that even though it looks like, you know, their home, it's not their home. You know? But I feel nothing for him. Like I said, he should have ate that motherfucker and not just stopped at the head, you know? Because he was probably thinking, you know, fuck you for forcing me to do all this shit. I don't do this. I never did. You motherfuckers took me, snatched me up, and talking about some whipping me and all that if I didn't perform. Like, I told y'all, first chance I get, I'm coming for somebody's head. Pause. And look, he came for his head. Pause again, but he did. Y'all gotta stop messing with these animals like that, bro. Like, that's almost as crazy, or just as crazy as like owning a monkey or a chimpanzee. You know, it's different from owning a dog or a cat, like a little small cat. You know, chimpanzees, bro. I feel like if you look at a motherfucking chimpanzee a certain way, he gonna snap fuck all your shit up.
Blood loss and critical injuries to the head.
Damn.
According to those accompanying Horn to the hospital, he said, "Manticore is a great cat.
He's sniffing him.
No harm comes to Manticore."
Oh.
After recovering, Horn underwent rehabilitation due to partial paralysis as a result of the attack, and he went on to make a full recovery. Immediately after the incident, the Mirage Hotel and Casino closed the show, and the 267 cast and crew were laid off. Over the years, Fishbacker and Horn have refused to admit Manticore had attacked, claiming Horn had suffered a stroke on stage, and Manticore had dragged him off stage in means to help. Manticore appeared on stage again with the duo many times following the attack, with the last show on February 2009 for a charity benefit. Fishbacker and Horn retired from show business in April 2010, and Manticore passed away on March 19, 2014, following a short illness. Number 13. The Sankebetsu brown bear incident. Between mid-November and December 14, 1915, a large brown bear terrorized the town of Sankebetsu, Japan, that awoke from hibernation. Initially, the bear only stole corn and other harvested plants from residents, causing fear amongst the settlers of the local livestock and horses. The true horror began on December 9th in the home of the Otter family. Otter's wife, Abe, was at home tending to a young baby she was looking after when the bear appeared and entered the home. He proceeded to bite the baby in the head, killing him, then pounced on Abe as she attempted to defend herself and dragged her into the woods. Witnesses described the scene as resembling a slaughterhouse, with blood scattered all over the walls and puddled on the floor.
Hey, I know that's not a house. I know it's not nobody's house. Like a human being lives there. That has to be like something like an animal or something that lives there, because you got me fucked up if you think I'm living in there and there's like a statue of a bear, realistic bear, talking about some that bitch scaring me every single morning. I walk outside, I'm thinking that's a real bear. Or every time I go outside and I look at that thing is going to scare the shit out of me. Damn near give me a heart attack every single day. So you can't tell me that somebody lives in there. Come on, you playing.
Local guardsmen from a neighbouring town arrived and set out on what was believed to be the bear's trail, but in reality had headed another direction. It turned up on the Mayoki farm, where it killed 4 people, including a pregnant woman.
Damn!
Expert bear hunter Yamamoto Hikachi hesitantly made his way to Sankebetsu, certain that the bear was one named Kezagaki, and offered his assistance to track and kill the bear. On December 13th, the bear briefly returned to the town, and snipers opened fire, though they were unable to kill it. Yamamoto set off in pursuit of Kezagaki and found him the next day, resting due to the wounds sustained the previous night. After shooting the bear in the heart and head, it finally succumbed and died. The incident is the worst bear attack in Japanese history, and memorials have been set up in and around the town to commemorate the deceased. Number 12. The Connecticut chimp attack. Probably the most terrifying incident on this list, Travis was a chimpanzee owned by Sandra Harold of New Stamford, Connecticut, having adopted the chimp in 1995. Travis had grown up among humans his entire life, and was noted to have high socialization with them, knowing to obey his owner, unlock and open doors, dress himself, water plants.
That's that shit I'm seeing. See what I'm talking about? See what the fuck I'm talking about? Even though he was raised up with humans on some Tarzan shit, right? Doesn't mean that a motherfucker, like, you know, a chimpanzee or any other thing can just switch up on you. You know, just go crazy. Berserks, like, that's ridiculous, bro. Like, you're a dumbass for even. I don't even think chimpanzees are designed to, like, you know, I want to say, I want to say, like design, not design, but like, I don't know, like meant to be with humans, because homie just said the chimpanzee was raised up with humans, or like by humans, but the chimpanzee still did some fucked up shit. So I mean, I don't think they were ever meant to, I mean, even, granted, they look like us, right? But that don't mean that, you know, they got the same intentions, you know? Their mindset are probably totally different from our mindsets. I just don't think humans and chimpanzees are meant to, like, be together, you know, like live under one roof or just be together for like a long period of time. I can understand, you know, like a chimpanzee and a human being together for like a couple of minutes, maybe a day or two, I don't know, but I don't think they're meant to live together. This is why we have 2 different worlds.
Feed hay to Harold's horses. However, Travis was not always kind, and 2 incidents occurred, once in 1995 when he allegedly bit a woman, and in 2003 when he escaped from Harold's car and held up traffic for several hours. On February 19th, 2009, Travis left his house and Harold attempted to coax him back with a friend, Charla Nash. Travis spotted Nash with one of his favourite toys and it sent him into a rage. Without warning, Travis leaped on Nash and began inflicting horrific injuries to Nash's face and head. Harold desperately tried to get Travis off Nash by hitting Travis with a shovel and even stabbing him with a butcher knife, but to no avail, in seemingly infuriating Travis even more. Harold finally called 911, begging dispatchers to send help right away, shouting, "He's eating her."
What is the problem?
He's killing my friend!
Who's killing your friend?
My chimpanzee!
Oh, your chimpanzee is killing your friend.
We ripped their apart! Hurry up!
With a gun.
Hurry up, please!
There's someone on the way.
Guys, please, shoot him!
What is the monkey monkey doing? Tell me what the monkey...
He ripped her face off!
He ripped her face off?
He's trying to attack me! Please, please!
Medical personnel and a police officer arrived, turning Travis's attention away from Nash and sending him sprinting to the police car. He tried to open the officer's driver's side door, but it was locked, so Travis calmly walked to the passenger door and opened it.
Call me a messed up person. Call me whatever you want for saying what I'm about to say. But in that conversation between the officer and the woman would have not lasted. It wouldn't have lasted as long as it did. You know, I would have been like, she picked up, hello, and then I would have said, oh, what's your emergency? I'm the officer. What's your emergency? He's killing my friend. Who's killing your friend? My chimpanzee. You're a dumbass. That's it. You better run like hell.
The officer opened fire, hitting Travis several times and sending him fleeing back into the house. He was found dead next to his cage a short time later. Nash suffered severe
Jesus!
losing a hand, nose, her eyes, lips, and mid-face bone structure.
Oh my God!
15 months following the attack, Harold suffered a fatal heart attack, which her attorney credited to the long string of losses from a daughter to a husband, and finally to Travis's rampage and death. Nash received $4 million from Harold's estate after an extensive lawsuit regarding the attack. In June 2011, she underwent facial reconstructive surgery to restore her face. Number 11, Gustav. Within the depths of Lake Tanganyika and the Ruzizi River in Burundi,
I almost
lives
didn't
the
see
most prolific serial killer on Earth.
that
Only
motherfucker.
it is not a human. Gustav is the name given to a 20-foot Nile crocodile,
Jesus.
weighing in at over 2,000 pounds.
Damn!
While legend states he is over 100 years old, scientists estimate he was born around 1955.
Wow.
Gustav is blamed for the death of over 300 people.
Damn!
Witnesses claim he will grab his victims in his mouth and then drown them before tossing the body aside. People found this peculiar, that Gustav would not kill people for food, but instead in a way similar to that of human serial killers as a way of passion. Scientists say crocodiles can go for long periods without food, and Gustav can be more playful in selecting things to kill at will. Several attempts have been made to either capture or kill the beast, and he is recognizable by the 3 distinct bullet wounds from the attempts made on his life. PBS produced a mini in 2004 called Capturing the Killer Croc, which followed an expedition to capture Gustav for scientific study, though it was unsuccessful. His notoriety also inspired the 2007 film. The last known sighting of Gustav was in February 2008, and it's unknown what his current status or whereabouts are.
That's fucking wild. 100 years, right? 100 years. 100 plus years. And y'all still can't find this motherfucker? And killed what? Over, what do you say? 300 people? 300 people? Or something like that? Hold on. Hold on. I got one about it.
Scientists estimate he was born around 1955. Gustav is blamed for the death of over 300 people.
300 people. Living past 100 years. Yeah, I still can't find this motherfucker. That's crazy. Y'all even did a whole documentary on this motherfucker. And you can't find him? Get the fuck out of here. Fuck. That motherfucker don't even look like he should be in like this time, in this time zone. Like, no. That motherfucker look like he should be like back when dinosaurs were like alive. Cause he's big as fuck. 2,000 pounds. Come on. Fuck out of here, bro. Shit.
This is claim he scientific study, though it was unsuccessful. His notoriety also inspired the 2007 film. The last known sighting of Gustav was in February 2008, and it's unknown what his current status or whereabouts are.
2008?
Number 10. The Miss Teen Dog Attack. By her senior year in high school, Taylor Hubbard was known for her beauty. At age 14, she had won Teen USA and was selected as Miss Kentucky Teen in 2010, moving her on to the Miss Teen USA contest. However, on May 5th, 2012, Hubbard had just left from her senior prom and was heading home to change into leisure wear when she was attacked by a 5-year-old husky a friend of hers owned. She was petting the dog when it suddenly bit her face and held on fiercely.
Oh my God!
As stated, Hubbard remained relatively calm during the ordeal, which could have helped de-escalate the situation, and she was rushed to a hospital. Doctors would not let her see her face at first, but she told reporters she could feel at the bottom of my chin with my tongue. Hubbard required 200 stitches to repair her face, and many believed her pageant career would be over. Hubbard refused to accept this. While in Puerto Rico, she met a woman who was in a car accident and would be undergoing the same surgeries to repair the damaged tissues, and credits this meaning for her feeling calm about the procedures she would soon be undergoing. Hubbard had laser reconstructive surgery, and doctors were able to repair the damage, except for a few visible scars under the lip and on the left cheek. Today, Hubbard continues to work as a model, and has no ill feelings towards the dog that attacked.
Hell no. Like, hell you don't. I would have. I would have got my fucking revenge. See, this is why I low-key will always want a small... I mean, granted, I do want a big dog. But, like, low-key, this is one of the reasons why I want a small dog, because, what if one day your dog, or your pet that you have just turns on you and just starts attacking you? What if you have like a, what's that dog name? And was it Sandlot? Beethoven? Something like that? What happens if you have a big ass dog and you and your dog sleeping in the same bed, and he has a bad dream or whatever? And yes, I believe dogs dream. He has a bad dream or whatever, and he wakes up mad as hell, furious, and the first thing he sees is you. But he don't see you, he just sees a person, and he just go berserk. Like, if I had a small dog, well, I do have a small dog, but like, if Peanut ever came at me like that, thank God I have a small dog. I can literally just toss Peanut like a football. Like, I don't want to, but if anything came to that, then, hell.
Number 9. George Went Hensley. In the American Appalachian Mountains, a movement known as snake handling was created, which involves fundamental Pentecostal Christians holding several poisonous snakes under the belief one devoid of sin would not be bitten and killed. A key figure in the movement was George West Hensley, a minister of the Church of God with signs following, who would travel to the American South to conduct sermons and partake in snake handling with other members during the 1940s.
He said something, and I just want to make sure I heard it right. Someone run it back.
Of the Church of God with signs following, who would travel to the American South to conduct sermons and partake. In the American Appalachian Mountains, a movement known as snake handling was created, which involves fundamental Pentecostal Christians holding several poisonous snakes under the belief one devoid of sin would not be bitten and killed.
So basically, you holding snakes, right? And I guess, I'm just trying to put this together, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm guessing if you're not a sinful dude or person, or if you have like little to no sins, you committed little to no sins in your life, and you hold these snakes up to you, that these motherfuckers not gonna bite you? Is that what you're saying? Because if that's what you're saying, then you saying some bullshit. That doesn't even make no fucking sense. Like, realistically, it doesn't make no sense. Like, snakes are snakes. They're gonna fucking bite you. Like, what the fuck? Talking about some sin. Like, what? Everybody sins. Everybody sins at some point in their life. Everybody sins. Everybody. I have never met a person, not a single person, that has not sinned at least once. We're humans. It's what we do. You know, some more than others, some less than others, you know, but the point I'm trying to make is that everybody sins. If nobody would sin, or if nobody made mistakes, then we wouldn't be human. That's part of what makes us human. So get the hell out of my face with this bullshit you talking about. And I hope you get bit the fuck up. Damn. I'm sorry, but that just made me mad. Like, what? Come on. Everybody sins. Even when you think you haven't sinned, or you think it's, you know, what you did wasn't a sin. It's a sin. And I have to fart, which I think is a sin. Sorry.
The key figure in the movement was George West Hensley, a minister of the Church of God with signs following, who would travel to the American South to conduct sermons and partake in snake handling with other members during the 1940s and early 50s. After a series of meetings without the snakes, Hensley held a sermon in Alta, Florida on July 24, 1955, during which he produced a 5-foot-long snake, which he wrapped around his neck and carried with him as he passionately delivered the rest of his sermon.
Jesus.
All was going well until he returned the snake to the can when it bit him on the wrist. After a few minutes, Hensley began to show visible signs of illness and pain, and his arm became discolored. He refused to seek treatment despite pleas from attendees and local sheriff deputies, claiming his pain was a result of the congregation's lack of faith, though his wife believes it was a will of God. Henry died the following morning as a result, and an investigation ruled his death as suicide. The death serves as an act of irony for a man committed to snake handling to die by his methods. Since then, snake handling has been in deep decline.
No
Few
shit.
churches practice it today. Number 8. Alexander of Greece. A peculiar entry on this list, Alexander was a king of Greece from 1917 until his premature death in 1920, which occurred under bizarre circumstances. Alexander was a controversial monarch in Greece due to his decision to marry a woman not from royalty. At the time, the Greek royalty was of German-Danish descent, and this resulted in the exile of Alexander's parents during the First World War. The idea of marrying a common Greek meant it was possible to Hellenize the royal family, but people were split in their criticism, some believing it would divide Alexander's family into those who support and oppose the marriage. Only 3 years after his coronation and marriage, Alexander was out walking his dog when a Barbary macaque either attacked his dog or the dog attacked it. Sources vary. Alexander stepped in to separate the two, and in his attempt was bitten on the arm by a second monkey who joined in the attack.
Wow.
Alexander and his dog were able to get away, and he cleaned the wound and dressed it, but neglected to cauterize it since he felt it was not a serious injury. The wound became infected by that evening, and Alexander was struck with fever and septicemia, or inflammation of the wound and surrounding tissue. Over 10 days later, on October 19th, he became delirious and cried out for his mother, begging the Greek government to end her exile, though they refused. The government, however, allowed for his grandmother, Olga, to return and be by his side. Sadly, due to travel delays, Olga arrived too late, and Alexander died on October 25th, 1920, 12 hours before Olga arrived. Alexander's funeral took place 4 days later, and his body is interred at the royal estate of Tato. Number 7. The Grizzly Man. The subject of the Werner Herzog documentary of the same name, Timothy Treadwell, was a wildlife enthusiast who spent an extensive amount of time camping in Alaska's Katmai Wildlife Sanctuary, an area he dubbed the Grizzly Sanctuary. Treadwell would spend the early part of summer near Hallow Bay, an area he dubbed the Grizzly Sanctuary, and then moved to Kaffir Bay in the late season.
Any animal that can comfortably, I say that weird, but you know, any animal that can comfortably, I'm sorry, right, walk on all fours or run on all fours and at the same time walk, damn near run on their hind legs. Like, they're fine walking on either all fours or all twos. That animal can't be safe. That animal, no, that's not safe. That's a fucky animal. You know, like, that can't be safe. That's not right. You know, so I just want to let y'all know that any animal that can either, you know, walk/run on either the hind legs, you know, either on all fours or all twos, that's not safe. That's scary as fuck. They can do a lot of damage to you. Just saying.
Which he named the Grizzly Maze due to the thick bush surrounding the campground. Due to his 13 years of experience living amongst the bears, Treadwell had developed knowledge in bear behavior, including how to hold one's ground to deter bear aggression. He also used his experiences to speak with children about bears and advocate for wildlife protection. Treadwell also filmed hundreds of hours of diary footage depicting his interaction with the animals he encountered during his expeditions. Despite his love for the animals and environmental advocacy, Treadwell clashed with the National Park Service on a number of occasions due to them not agreeing with Treadwell's actions of coming within dangerous proximity to the bears he would interact with. In October 2003, Treadwell and his girlfriend Amy Huguenard were in the Grizzly Maze when bush pilot Willie Fulton arrived by seaplane to pick up the couple as scheduled, but instead discovered a bear consuming what was left of a human torso. He contacted the National Park Service and several park rangers arrived, managing to kill the bear soon after arrival. Treadwell was 46 and Huguenard was a few days shy of her 38th birthday. Their cause of death was ruled as a result of a bear attack, and the perpetrator is believed to be a bear who had awoken early from hibernation. Animals who do are said to be more aggressive than normal. Treadwell and Huguenard's final moments were captured by camera audio, but no footage exists of the attack due to the lens cap still being on. Herzog listened to the audio at the conclusion of Grizzly Man and urged the owner never to release the tape, even pleading it should be destroyed. Number 6. Taylor Mitchell.
I don't even feel comfortable. I don't even want to be in the same space as my cousin India when she comes out of hibernation because, you know, she's aggressive and she's mad hungry. She's looking at me like, right? What makes you think I'm about to be in the same space as a motherfucking bear coming out of straight hibernation talking about some Nah, nope.
Coyotes are a species of canine inhabiting North America, resembling a wolf but smaller in size and build. While a rare occurrence, coyote packs have been known to attack humans, but rarely is it fatal. 19-year-old up-and-coming folk musician Taylor Mitchell was out for a hike in Cape Breton Highlands National Park in Nova Scotia, Canada, in order to pass time and relax before her performance later that day. A group of 4 hikers had just arrived in the car park when they heard screams coming from inside the park. They immediately set off in search of the cause and to help anyone in danger.
That's that bullshit I'm talking about. You walking or you outside and you hear some motherfucking screams, right? Especially if you heard the screams coming from like some woods or something, then don't check it out. Don't be bullshitting like that. Like, no. Obviously that person that screamed got fucked up. Now you better go check this shit out. What makes you a fucky? You know? You gonna fuck yourself up. So I don't want you to be a fucky. So I'm gonna need you to just stay where you at and act like you just ain't hear nothing. That's what I'm doing. Why can't you do the same? You know? Just saying.
While walking through the trail, the group began finding personal items belonging to Mitchell, including her keys, a small knife, and later a trail of blood and ripped clothing leading into the woods.
Damn.
The group found Mitchell in a clearing with a coyote standing over her.
A coyote?
After charging the animal 3 times, it finally fled into the forest, and the group was able to come to Mitchell's aid. Mitchell was conscious and speaking with her rescuers as they phoned 911. All the while, the coyote stalked nearby, growling and making threatening gestures towards the group, until Royal Canadian Mounted Police arrived and fired a shotgun at it, finally scaring the coyote away. Mitchell suffered bites to her entire body with serious wounds to her leg and head. She was airlifted to a nearby hospital where she was listed in critical condition. Sadly, her injuries proved too severe and she passed away just after midnight on October 28, 2009, hours after the attack occurred. Mitchell's death was the first recorded adult death caused by a coyote attack. Over the next few days, 3 coyotes were killed by wildlife wardens in the park, and all were linked to Mitchell's attack after her blood was discovered on the fur. Number 5. Tyke the elephant. Elephants have become a recognizable, possibly morbid symbol for circuses across the globe. Tyke was one such elephant performing in a circus in Honolulu, Hawaii, for nearly 2 decades under trainer Alan Campbell. On August 20th, 1994, during a performance, Tyke suddenly stomped onto the stage, pushing groomer Dallas Beckwith with her trunk. Campbell stepped in an attempt to stop Tyke before anyone got seriously hurt, and the crowd watched in awe, believing it was part of the show. When Campbell stepped in, Tyke violently threw him and Beckwith to the ground, then proceeded to stomp on them for several minutes.
Damn. That's a lot of
their lives. Outside, publicist Steve Hirano tried to keep Tyke from escaping the parking lot, but was thrown to the ground and nearly trampled himself. The police arrived, panicked, and seeing no other options, officers opened fire, causing Tyke to flee into the streets of Honolulu. For half an hour, Tyke rampaged through downtown, knocking into cars and structures along the way. Eventually cornered, police and wildlife officials fired 86 rounds into Tyke until she...
Damn! Woo! That, I'm not gonna get emotional, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I hate seeing animals in pain. You know? I think that's worse than seeing a human in pain. Like, Jesus, yo. 86 shots. That's ridiculous. Y'all couldn't just use a tranquilizer or something? You know? Like, y'all couldn't use anything else. Y'all couldn't tase. Y'all couldn't. You gotta shoot. You gotta shoot the elephant dead, huh? There was no other way. No, nothing. Just Jesus. Oh God.
They collapsed and succumbed to her injuries. In total, 13 people were injured, and Campbell died from his injuries. The incident sparked public outcry about the treatment of animals and their use for entertainment purposes as a form of torture. Not long after, the city of Honolulu, the circus and Tyke's owner, John Caneo Jr., was sued, and the matter was settled out of court. The incident also inspired legislation in Hawaii and California concerning the treatment of animals and the use of them in performances. Number 4. Rodney Fox. A champion spear fisherman, Rodney Fox was defending his title during a competition in December 1963. Fox had speared and collected several fish and was diving further to find more when a great white shark smelt the blood of his catch and swam towards the scent. The shark collided into Fox's side and sunk his teeth deep into his abdomen, puncturing his diaphragm and ripping open his lungs. Despite the injuries, Fox managed to fight off his attacker, surface, and wave down a rescue vessel, which took him to a hospital. Doctors found his artery was exposed, and had he been a minute later from arriving, he would have bled out. Miraculously, Fox survived the attack, and the entire side of his body, from his hand to lower abdomen, had to be stitched up with 462 stitches.
God.
The incident inspired Fox to study sharks and their behavior, hoping by doing so he will help prevent further shark attacks without resorting to killing the species. He was also the first to design the well-known observation cage researchers and thrill seekers alike use to safely observe sharks at close proximity. Fox is still alive today and was even invited to lead an expedition on the first Shark Week specials on Discovery. Number 3. Pitbull attack caught on tape. In Los Angeles, a complaint was sent to animal control by neighbors of a woman's pitbull exhibiting aggressive behavior and the woman threatening to unleash the dog on people confronting her about it. Animal control officer Florence Crowell arrived to investigate and remove the dog from the premises. Immediately, the woman threatened Crowell, stating she would release the dog from home if Crowell didn't leave. Shortly after the woman re-entered her home, the door opened again and the pitbull ran out towards Crowell, biting down hard on the officer's hand. Crowell desperately tried to tear her hand away as the dog's owner unleashed a barrage of verbal abuse and egging the dog on. In the meantime, a camera crew filmed the incident and attempted to help, but were forced to retreat several times due to the violent nature of the dog. Thankfully, one of the neighbors ran out and struck the dog in the head with a 2x4, causing the dog to release its grip and flee back to the house. Another neighbor called 911, while the owner desperately pleaded with them not to do so, stating she did not want to be arrested. Crowell suffered a crushed hand and a punctured lung, but recovered from the attack. The dog was taken by animal control and put down, while the owner was prosecuted for instigating the attack and causing injuries to a law enforcement officer. Number 2. The Jersey Shore attacks. For 12 days in July of 1916, residents of New Jersey were terrorized by a series of shark attacks between Beach Haven and Matawan. On July 1st, 25-year-old Charles Vansant of Philadelphia was bitten during a pre-dinner swim, resulting in most of the skin and muscle being torn away from his leg. He bled to death at the hotel he was residing in. The second attack occurred on July 6 in Spring Lake. Victim Charles Bruder.
That's fucked up. And I'm talking about the image. This shark looked like he's smiling. He, she, probably. He, she, we wumble, you wumble. I said that backwards. What did you say? We wumble, he, she, we wumble. Son. It's first grade, SpongeBob. No, but like, it looks like that shark is smiling and looking straight at me, at my soul, at goddamn Ari. Stop looking at me.
27 was swimming 120 meters offshore when he was bit by a shark in the abdominal and his legs were severed. While rescuers were able to pull him from the water, Bruder bled to death on the way back to shore. 6 days later, a third attack occurred, this time inland in Matawan Creek. Local boys were playing in the creek when 11-year-old Lester Stillwell was dragged into the water. Being an epileptic, his friends believed he suffered a seizure and ran to get help. 24-year-old local businesswoman Watson Fisher entered the creek in an attempt to save Stillwell, but was also attacked in the thigh. He was pulled from the water but died later that evening from blood loss. Stillwell's body was recovered 2 days later. 30 minutes following the Matawan Creek attacks, 14-year-old Joseph Dunn was attacked a half-mile from Wyckoff. Fortunately, Dunn was rescued by his brother and friend in a tug-of-war, eventually resulting in the shark letting go. Dunn was immediately rushed to the hospital and recovered after 2 months. The series caused panic among the vacation towns all along the east coast. To this day, it's unknown the species of shark or whether or not it was more than one, though it's likely to have been several sharks, most likely a great white or bull shark. Bull sharks are the only shark that can live in both fresh and salt water, meaning it's likely to be the perpetrator of the last 2 attacks.
Damn.
In popular culture, author Peter Benchley cited the attacks as his main inspiration for his bestseller Jaws, which was later adapted into the hit film of the same name. Number 1. Steve Irwin. Undoubtedly the most well-known entry on this list, Irwin was an Australian zoologist and conservationist, known to the public as the Crocodile Hunter, a nickname he gained from his TV series of the same name. Irwin was committed to educating youth and adults alike about nature and the wildlife that inhabits it. Mostly, fans were drawn to Irwin's seemingly eccentric and hyperactive persona. Aside from television, Irwin was the operator of the Australia Zoo in BOR, Queensland, a position he inherited from his parents. He would frequently appear at the attraction to host wildlife shows in front of live audiences, where he would interact with a variety of animals, most notably crocodiles. In 2006, Irwin teamed up with conservationist Philippe Cousteau Jr., the grandson of oceanologist Jacques Cousteau, to film a documentary called Ocean's Deadliest. During a sequence on September 4th, Irwin was snorkeling in the Bat Reef off Port Douglas, Queensland, and was filming some shallow water shots for his daughter's children's program, Bindi the Jungle Girl, after bad weather prohibited him and the crew from venturing further out. While filming, Irwin swam towards a stingray from behind. Startled, the stingray plunged its tail into Irwin's chest as a defensive tactic and swam away. Irwin was taken from the water, and he initially believed the stinger had pierced his lung and spine, but had actually punctured his heart, and the injury proved fatal. The entire incident was captured on film, and all footage was handed over to Queensland State Police as evidence. After Irwin's death was ruled accidental, and the Irwin family had all footage of his death destroyed.
Got an idea for a top 15 list? Submit it at top15s.net/submit. Be sure to subscribe for future videos. Thanks for watching.
I think this video just goes to show you that I'll have to check that out. So I think this video just goes to show you that no matter what animal, any animal can just attack, just have a moment, you know, just have an episode or something and just go crazy. And that's why it's also important that you treat animals with like the utmost respects. You treat them with love and care, because, you know, animals are not stupid and they're not dumb. You know, they're smart as fuck. You know, you may think otherwise, but animals are smarter than a motherfucker. You know, some are smarter than others, some are less smart than others, but they have a mind and they be thinking. I don't know what they be thinking about, but they be thinking. And so with that being said, you know, I mean, if you're going to get a pet, think about the pet you're going to get. Treat it with the utmost respects, love, care, happiness, all that, right? And be cautious, you know. And granted, my dog, Peanut, has never attacked me like this before. Well, not like this, like in a video like this. But Peanut has definitely bit me, but that's only because Peanut was like, I guess I'll be getting on his nerves or whatever, or I'll just be like annoying Peanut, and he'll be like, all right, get off me, like, get off. Or the other time Peanut bites me is like when Peanut is like riled up, you know what I mean? Like when he sees another dog, or when he sees like a human baby or like a small child, and he'll like start to get riled up, and then I would have to like either pick Peanut up or yank him by the leash. I would rather pick Peanut. I do not like leashes on Peanut. I let him be free. I don't even have a collar for him. But so I would pick him up, right, and then he would just be like, he'll bite me or something, and I'm like, all right, cool, I guess whatever. He's not biting me because he's like, it's not at me. It's like, you know. But I understand. But I'm just saying, like, just relax. Not relax. I don't know why I said that. Just choose your pet wisely and stay cautious. Keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you. Stay happy.